What big free agent spender might already be having buyer's remorse with their expensive prize? Where does the value lie in the Colts tight end core, and which Chiefs running back represents the best bang for the buck in FFPC drafts? Plus, the 2018 FFPC Genesis champion John Walter joins us to break down his strategy and thought process from this year's draft and more. We've got a great show for you. Dave Gerzak is here. I'm Eric Balkman. Stick around. Your HSFF Hour starts now.
Broadcast live and heard around the world, you are now listening to the most entertaining hour of radio on the planet. It's the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com with your hosts Eric Balkman and Dave Gerzak. The High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour is your home for football analysis from the best fantasy players in the world. And now, because no one else was available, here are Eric Balkman and Dave Gerzak.
With the master rhymer, that's the lead behind the video rapper. You know the truck driver, tapper.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Greetings and salutations, all of you Balkaholics and Gerzak fanatics. Welcome to the latest episode of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com. I'm, of course, your slightly above average host, Eric Balkman, and my co-host is, as always, the patron saint of fantasy football, the Dizzle, Dave Gerzak. Coming up on tonight's show, which AFC North tight end is back on our radar? We play a Would You Rather with the brand spanking new Saints tight end Jared Cook, and John Walter, the defending FFPC Genesis champ, will drop by to discuss how he assembled this year's team, what he has cooking over at Dynasty Football Factory, and much more. Shout out to the chat room right now. I know the 26ers are in live and in full effect in there tonight. Two-packer joining us while drafting an FFPC satellite draft tonight, too. That'll be fun. Feel free to post any questions you all might have in there. If you want to connect with us on Twitter, at HSFF Hour, at Eric Balkman, at David Gerzak. John is on Twitter, at DFF_JWalt. Facebook.com/HSFF Hour, 347-426-3682, 347-GAME-OVA. HighStakesFantasyFootball@gmail.com is where to email us. Producer and mutual friend Rob is doing the audio engineering and producing tonight, as normal audio engineer, and best friend Bryce is commissioning drafts tonight for the FFPC.
I'm a little stressed out.
Is double duty, man. What can you do? That's disembodied voice you're hearing. That's the Dizzle. Dizzle, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Are you going to be on your game? This is a Thursday night show, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to bring the thunder like you normally do.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm ready to rock and roll, man. All good.
We are, the one thing that Rob and I did not put in the rundown that you brought up before the show, remind me, to talk a little bit about Antonio Callaway at the bottom of the hour. That's one thing I want to get to.
News is so slow that anything good coming out.
Well, the news is not slow at the FFPC right now, I'll tell you that. Dynasty startups forming this weekend at MyFFPC.com. They're starting Saturday morning. Those are slow drafts, so make sure you're jumping in those. The best ball, superflex, and double ups obviously always available at MyFFPC.com. Two-packer can tell you all about those since he is drafting one tonight. Early bird going on for the main event until May 31st. So you got 15 days left to get in on that main event early bird. Save $100 off your first team, $350 off each additional team, and for each team you buy, you will get entered into that Pros vs. Joe's challenge to try to be a Joe and take on the best the industry has to offer. If you win your 12-team league, you're going to get a main event entry to the FFPC main event in 2020. And remember, that FFPC main event, up to $500,000 grand prize, a $3.2 million prize pool. Football Guys Players Championship early bird going on right now as well. Hop in that. Let's get into tonight's guest. He's been waiting very patiently here as we are starting the show at 9:04. I want to point that out, Dave. 9:04 Central Time.
Eric, great job. You're really on.
2 minutes ahead of time. He's been playing in the FFPC Dynasty Leagues for 3 years, is a member of 3 26 or 250 FFPC Dynasty Leagues. He was the top point leader in Genesis and Revelations draft in his first year in 2018. Had a lot of success in an FFPC best ball format, as well as cashing in the FFPC World Famous Playoff Challenge. He's a part-time writer for Dynasty Fantasy Football Factory. You follow him on Twitter at DFF_JWalt. Please welcome in the 2018 defending FFPC Genesis champion, Mr. John Walter. John, how the hell are you on this Thursday evening?
Hey, fellas. I'm doing great this evening. How the heck are you? I hear Dave's got his daughter's got a birthday coming up.
It just passed.
Yeah, it just passed.
Actually, I have a birthday coming up.
That's
In
true.
2 days, myself and Reggie Jackson were born on the same day.
I did not know it was Reggie Jackson's birthday. You're celebrating on Saturday, right, Sizzle?
Yeah, celebrating on Saturday by taking my wife to the airport so she can go to Germany for 9 days. So really, we're celebrating as soon as she leaves.
So you're spending your 68th birthday all alone.
That's right.
That's, wow, that's
68.
fantastic. John, by the way, congratulations are in order as you are expecting your first child coming up in August, I believe?
Yeah, pretty funny. Expecting our first baby August 1st, just before the thick of the NFL season begins. So I'm going to have to figure out a way of, how I'm going to grind my football with a little one, but we're both very excited.
You're a lot smarter than my radio partner here, Baldy. He had sex with his wife at the wrong time of the year, and then he has to leave the main event, right on Sunday morning thanks to his kid being born, and now he has to leave early.
My kid, but John, okay, first of all,
August is fine. Early August is fine.
First of all, the Dizzle is fake newsing you a little bit here. My kid was born basically a month early. So, I had it planned out right.
Wow.
His due date was October 6th. He was born on September 9th.
He's supposed to be born in week 4.
Yeah, exactly. Sports betting man, Lance Purvis, actually, I think he put out on Twitter, he's like, after I announced, welcome to the world, Lucas Mark Falkman, he's like, yeah, he had to get out for week 1 of the NFL season, didn't he, Dad? Yeah, that was one of those things that you'll have. Well, congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Tell us what you do for a living, John, when you're not crushing Genesis and FFPC Dynasty and satellite leagues.
Yes, sir. So I live in Overland Park, Kansas, so real close to Kansas City, and I own my own personal training studio here in town, where I also train people out of, and that's what I do.
Personal trainer, Dave. Any questions that you want to ask John? Perhaps on your bum hip.
Yeah, hey John, can you cure hip osteoarthritis by training? No, I didn't think so. Do you do stem cell treatment or surgery?
Well, Todd Gurley might be able to help you out with some of his training patterns that we haven't heard about yet. But yeah, lots of stretching there.
I appreciate that.
Hey, John, since you brought it up and since it is the hot topic of conversation and has been for the last month, Dave's going to get to his question here in a second. But I don't know if you own Gurley in any of your dynasty leagues, but even for redraft leagues, are you targeting him at a value right now, or are you kind of staying away given the unknowns about his need?
Yeah, right now I'm definitely staying away from Gurley. There's just too much indications that there's something going on there with them re-signing Malcolm Brown and trading up so that they could get Darrell Henderson, who I was a big fan of. So I don't know. I'm kind of off Gurley right now, which stinks because I think he is a great player, and I mean he can absolutely he could be the RB1 really at any given point. So I just until we hear a little bit of news, I'm just going to avoid him.
Fair enough. So actually, this is kind of Gurley relates maybe a little bit. Maybe he passed you by, maybe he didn't. But you had the 9th spot in Genesis. Did you have an overall strategy in mind when you were building a team? After the 9th pick, were you looking at going? And I don't know what your team looks like. By the way, so you can talk about that. Going 0 RB or anything along those lines. Yeah,
I try not to really have much of a plan with these types of drafts, especially with the group of 26ers plus two-packer. I mean, I don't really know what he does, but I don't try to think too much about it. I just I let the draft, come to me, I guess you should say. And I was pretty happy with how I ended up with it. And I try to go by value, try not to reach too much at times, and just try to draft a balanced team with a couple high upside guys. And, I think I did a pretty decent job with that.
Yeah, let's analyze this a little bit, John, as you are the defending champ in this league and trying to protect that belt going into 2019, Dave.
And to be fair, Ron Meyer is the two-time defending Revelations champion.
Yeah.
Anyway, just want to get that out there.
Yeah, but this gets back to the whole Genesis and Revelations rivalry, because I don't think either one of these, the 26ers and Genesis and then the Revelations stalwarts, I don't think either one of them thinks the other league is worth a pinch of salt for what it's worth. But we'll get into it tonight because we're going to talk about John's team here in Genesis. Sony Michel, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. They were all still on the board when you were picking at the 309. Instead of those guys, you go with Derrick Henry, a guy who really came on at the end of the 2018 season. Why did you feel that he was the right running back for you there over those other three gentlemen that I mentioned?
Right. I mean, just like you said, Henry came on strong at the end of the year when they finally decided to just give him the ball and just let him run with it. And, I mean, he took off, and I think Tennessee kind of had to look themselves in the mirror and be like, okay, should we let Mariota throw the ball with, an elbow that he can't even feel, or should we give the ball to our giant running back, Derrick Henry? And I just think that he is in line to get the most touches on that team, and I think he's going to get the ball more than Aaron Jones and Sony Michel. I was definitely torn on Josh Jacobs. It was between him and Henry, and I just decided to go with Henry because we're not really sure what the Raiders have in store for Josh Jacobs, especially since he never showed that he could be the bell cow back at Alabama. Whether that's his fault or Saban just wanting to mix different backs in there, I just feel Henry was the safer pick right there.
Yeah, Damian Harris is going to the Patriots, obviously going to compete with touches for Sony Michel. The Packers still have Jamal Williams, and then they invested, granted a day 3 pick, but still a back I'm excited about as a Packers fan, and Dexter Williams. And then you have Josh Jacobs being, as you mentioned, John, the great unknown in Oakland. Certainly Derrick Henry, probably the safest bet for the most amount of touches there, Dave. Let's talk about shift from running backs. Talk about go ahead, John. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to pitch in there about Damian Harris. I was pretty shocked that the Patriots took him there, and I immediately kind of was thinking a lot about it, and I think Damian Harris got drafted to a wonderful situation, and it was surprising that they are doing that with Sony Michel there already. But to me, they're drafting him to be the LeGarrette Blount role, who had 15 some touchdowns the year that he was the short yardage guy. And if I'm a Sony Michel owner, I'd be a little concerned about that because I think Damian Harris is a good all-around back. He's not super special athletically, but he's very similar to Mark Ingram. He just gets the job done.
Actually, I have a question in a second, but I agree with you about Damian Harris. I find that just because Jacobs got drafted, they were teammates. Jacobs and Harris teammates. There's people who think that Harris is a better back.
Yeah,
and he actually outproduced Jacobs. And there's areas in which he was more athletic. So I feel like, especially in dynasty rookie drafts, instead of the 101, you take Jacobs, who's in a great situation, granted, but on a kind of bad team. You take Harris at the 212 or 208, 209. He's going pretty late in those drafts. And he's a quality back. Maybe you have to wait through his first contract to see anything, but maybe not. So I'm with you on that.
Just shifting focus to redraft right now, Damian Harris, I can tell you, is going at the 1302 in FFPC best balls for reference sake. That is right behind the Buccaneers running back duo of Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones. Dante Foreman going right ahead of Harris. Harris going right in front of Matt Breida, Dion Lewis, and Kalen Ballage in FFPC best ball drafts right now. Good running back conversation there real quick. Let's switch to receiver and Tyler Boyd, Dave.
How could anyone think that a person's last name is Ballage? They're going to be a badass running back.
That's an awesome – you have a problem with Ballage? That is a great name.
It's a French name. It's like the Ballage. It's like a fruity name.
Let me ask you this. What if he was a receiver? Would you like him more than that?
No.
Okay, what about a quarterback?
No, I wouldn't like that either.
There's the Dolphins draft a quarterback named Kalen Ballage, and you're like,
Taylor. That's
you are
very. It's too effeminate for the NFL.
Dave, you're an incredibly smart individual, and as far as gauging players on their looks and their names, your judgment normally impeccable. Not here. Kalen Ballage is a fantastic name.
All right.
Put out a Twitter poll. Is Kalen Ballage a good name?
You do
good
that.
football name.
Tyler
Boyd's a good football name.
We're going to stick with Tyler Boyd. If you took him at the 509, we're sticking with the odd number routes because the evens don't matter. About a round ahead of the normal FFPC ADP. I love Tyler Boyd. I'm going to give, so whatever you say, I'm going to agree with. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about why you like Tyler Boyd. 2018 was not a fluke. Is A.J. Green getting hurt? Talk about Tyler Boyd for 2019.
Yeah, so I'm with Balky there. I think Kalen Ballage is a heck of a name. But back to Tyler Boyd, you know, I got him in the, what was it? I think the late 5th round, and he's my 3rd receiver. And at that time, you know, you're under the gun with you know, the 26ers are all around you, and you got to make your pick. And I was pretty happy with Boyd as my 3rd receiver, just because I think he's very steady. You know, he had a great year last year, and half of his time was with Jeff Driscoll as his quarterback. So, you know, with a healthy Andy Dalton and A.J. Green back, I don't see any way that Boyd doesn't stay as a solid wide receiver 3 with, you know, potential to be a wide receiver 2. You know, he was top 20.
And what was he like? He was receiver 15, Balky, wasn't he?
I'll look that up, Dave.
And he was doing. I think his in-split numbers with A.J. Green were better than out of split. I thought I saw that.
Oh, he was better when the coverage.
When Green was there and healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's well. And here's the thing. It's like, are you really going to be all that upset if A.J. Green were to go down again and Tyler Boyd becomes the number 1 target on that offense? No, you're not going to be upset.
Right.
And even if he doesn't, as you just pointed out, Dave, Tyler Boyd was actually better with A.J. Green last year than without. So all good points there. I'm bringing up Tyler Boyd right now and how he finished last year among receivers. Dave, what did you say you thought he was? You thought he was top 15 or actually wide receiver 15?
15th or so overall. Also, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, actually, you are dead on. Wide receiver 15 last year.
Right, cool.
Yep.
A row of his had the phenom score stat, and Boyd actually had a super high phenom score coming out. And so I got lucky enough to grab him in waivers in a bunch of dynasty leagues last year, as well as redraft. And anyone who grabbed Boyd last year just couldn't be happier, I think. I think he's here to stay, too.
Yeah, and I'll say this, too, about Tyler Boyd. This is a guy that I actually was pretty excited about when he was in college. And I was like, you see these receivers, and sometimes you don't think that their skills are going to translate to the pro game. And I actually was like, man, I think Tyler Boyd's going to be a pretty good pro. And then he just didn't break out for whatever reason. But now he looks great. I was thrilled that I got him. Well, nobody cares about my fantasy team. Let's skip that. Tyler Boyd is going off the board right now as wide receiver 27 in FFPC draft.
That's a deal, man.
At the 6'11" in FFPC best balls. For reference's sake, again, I'll bring this up. The 3 receivers going in front of him: Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry, and Mike Williams. Right after him, it's Tyler Lockett, Alshon Jeffrey, and Corey Davis. So there you go on Tyler Boyd. I think he's a tremendous value there. And John, I don't think you overdrafted him either. I think that was a solid pick there at the end of the 5th. We're talking with John Walter, who you can follow on Twitter at BFF_JWalt. Check out his work at DynastyFootballFactory.com. He is the defending champion of the FFPC Genesis League. Let's talk about the, as Dave pointed out, the odd-numbered rounds here. At the 9th overall pick of the 7th round, you got T.J. Hawkinson, and you made him your starting tight end there. He was the 12th one off the board in the Genesis draft. Now, obviously, you think he's in for a solid rookie season. How big could this rookie season be for Hawkinson in Detroit, considering that, by and large, we don't really see rookie tight ends blowing up their first year? Your thoughts on Hawkinson from a 2019 scope?
Yeah, going into the draft, I thought Hawkinson was definitely the top tight end, and being drafted top 10 to the Lions solidified that point. You know, I wasn't trying to wait on tight end. It's just all the other tight ends started going quicker than I thought they would, or at least before I would want to draft them. And so I took Hawkinson there. You know, they've got Jesse James, so Jesse James can be the blocker and the guy that kind of just does the dirty stuff while, that frees up Hawkinson. And I think Stafford is still a very good quarterback. They've got plenty of weapons there, and I see no reason why Hawkinson can't be relevant in fantasy year one. I know it's a big jump, the first year for rookie tight ends, and we don't see it very often. But he's so talented and athletic that I don't see any reason why he can't be at least a top 12 tight end this year.
Dave, Hawkinson, top 12 tight end, agree or disagree?
I think it's actually I do think it's possible.
Yeah. It helps that it's Matt Patricia, who has had a front row seat for the prime of Rob Gronkowski's career, coaching him in Detroit, and the fact that, there's no Golden Tate in Detroit anymore. You're having Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay. I think Hawkinson could be a reliable target over the middle. And he's a guy that, I don't think there's ever been a tight end that has not had to improve his blocking to be on par with being an every down tight end in the NFL. And I think Hawkinson does too. But I think the learning curve with him should be a little bit less steep than it is for some other tight ends. So I think he'll be out there. Volume should be no problem with Hawkinson. I think he can accrue. He's going to have his rough stretches from now and then, but I think he's the type of guy that you can more than likely count on him as an every week starter going forward in FFPC, and maybe he'll be rising up draft boards. We'll see as we get closer to Vegas and the main event.
I bet he does.
I bet he does. He might keep moving up.
I've never thought of you as a Carolina Panthers fan.
Oh, shut up,
but when I look back on a lot of the players that you've liked over the years, they seem to be a lot of Panthers. Steve the Icon Smith.
Yeah.
DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And then this next gentleman we're going to talk about, you've been talking.
I like Cam Newton a lot of times.
Did you really?
Well, I like Cam because he's always available in the Kentucky back in the 11th round.
Right, that is true. But this next gentleman we're going to talk about, this is a player that
Curtis Samuel.
That you've been talking up to me off air.
I hate him because none of these people, I was going to say the D word, in any of my leagues will trade him to me. I offer like second round picks. They won't sell him. It's like he's not worth that supposedly, but they won't sell him anyway. You got Curtis Samuel, 1109. Tell us what you think about Curtis Samuel. He's the number 2 wide receiver. They got rid of Funkus. They pawned him off. They let him go as a free agent. So it's Curtis Samuel's show. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, first off, I really hope that he has a breakout year because I've got him in 2 of the 3 26er leagues. My boy Spree at last hated me for that, but I picked him up on waiver wires in the middle of the year last year. But yeah, I think that Curtis Samuel's a stud. I loved his tape from Ohio State when he was coming out as a rookie. Yeah, I think he ran like a 4.3 40, and he got hurt that first year, unfortunately. And I think that set him back. I think he broke his ankle fairly bad, and that set him back, and he didn't even really start playing again until midpoint of last year, and that's really when he started taking off. And I don't know if he's going to offer the week-to-week success, but I can see him, contributing and being a wide receiver 3 in fantasy leagues. Combined with DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey and Ian Thomas, and if Greg Olsen is going to play or not, the Panthers have a good set of weapons there.
Dave, you have I know you have more thoughts on the Panthers offense here.
Yes.
Okay.
Curtis Samuel was wide receiver 24 last year from weeks 8 to 16. So that's it. He was a low MWR2 last year from weeks 8 to 16. When Cam was dimmed up, Cam wasn't doing well.
No, he wasn't.
He was dumping it off McCaffrey like crazy. His shoulder was messed up. And now I think is this his third? This is Samuel's 3rd year.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said, his first year was kind of marred by injury, coming back off those issues, and the second year he kind of broke out, I think, late. And I know a lot of people who actually were using him as a starter late in the season.
Right. John, let me pose this question to you first, and then I want to ask Dave and get his thoughts. Is there anything wrong with, or is it a smart decision? Is it a stupid decision? Is it a right decision? Is it a wrong decision, let's say, to build a team that features Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and Curtis Samuel on? Is there anything wrong with that in your opinion, or is that not something you would recommend?
Well, for superfan Dave of the Panthers, I'm not sure the correct answer on that one. But we'll see. I would probably say no, just because we don't know what Cam Newton's doing right now. is his shoulder okay? Is it not? You know, are we going to see Will Greer in there? So I would probably have to lean no. Sorry, Dave.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. You know, my wife and I, my 16-year-old, she's 16. Once she goes to college, we're moving to Charlotte. We're getting the hell out of Wisconsin.
Charlotte, really?
Yeah, we're moving to North Carolina, man.
Where they held the political convention for Selena Meyer in the Music Smell of the Beat. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if she's a Democrat or Republican.
That's the genius, part of the genius of that show.
Would you Josh Springer there? You're our friend.
He's in. He lives right outside Charlotte. I almost got stranded in Charlotte coming back from our cruise a month or so ago, and I texted him to see if I could bunk up with him that night. No, you're Dave. You know, you don't have. I mean, obviously you have to invest in McCaffrey. You have to invest more to a certain point. And Samuel, it's not a huge draft pick. Is that? I mean, would you consider building, or perhaps you're already planning on building some teams featuring all three of those Panthers players on one squad?
Drafting me?
Yeah. John said he would not do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I kind of.
Or maybe we could throw Samuel out of the equation, more in McCaffrey.
Well, I have more McCaffrey on a lot of teams.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, that's dynasty. That's a little bit different.
Oh, you're talking about a redraft?
Redraft, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I would actually consider for just the two receivers for sure.
And then would you also get Cam? Would you target Cam?
Yeah, I would look at the whole offense and try to take it all in.
Fire that Panthers-colored bullet.
I would actually. I would do that with the Cardinals this year one too. By the way, I would take.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, I would take. Dude, Fitz is super cheap. Isabella's cheap. Hakeem Butler's cheap. These are rookies, granted. And Christian Kirk's not that super expensive. David Johnson is pretty good. And then Kyler Murray. I mean, go full air raid offense. This is going to be a team with the top 10, maybe top 5 in offensive plays. Who cares if their offensive line sucks ball either? We're getting the ball out in like a second.
And I'll say this. Now, they did make some additions to that defense this year. They signed a couple of corners in free agency. They obviously got the kid from Terrell Suggs. They got him from Baltimore. The kid.
He's a youngster.
Chandler Jones is still on that team. Patrick Peterson, we found out, was going to be suspended for the first 6 games of the season, so I don't know if that maybe opens them up to shootouts a little bit more. We'll have to follow that as well. But Davis, Cardinals all the way. Doesn't Drew Maselli live down in that area?
No, he lives in California, but he vacations.
He vacations there a lot, yeah. So he vacations there. Perhaps you guys might be going to a couple of Cardinals games this year.
I doubt it.
No? Okay. All right. Fair enough. We're talking with 2018 FFPC Genesis champion John Walter joining us here on the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour tonight. Let's talk about the Chiefs running backs because you grabbed both Darwin Thompson and James Williams in the Genesis draft, John. Are you not a believer in Damian Williams and Carlos Hyde, or were these picks just flat-out lottery tickets to hold throughout the preseason before the first waiver run, just to see what happens with these players?
Yeah, I think that's the $1 million question going around Twitter right now. But being in Kansas City, I'm pretty familiar with the situation, and it's not that I'm not a believer in Damian Williams. I think he's a solid player with great hands and speed. I mean, he's a pretty big guy. I just, watching all of the Chiefs games, he doesn't have the power up the middle, and he got stuffed, on third and short and goal-to-go situations, multiple times. And once they picked up Carlos Hyde, I immediately, just thought to myself, like, well, there's the short yardage guy. And then so going to Darwin Thompson and James Williams, before the draft, I thought those two were destined to be, satellite backs in a system, and I was very pleased watching their tapes. I think they are phenomenal athletes and good at what they do, and then the fact that they ended up on the Chiefs together is pretty amazing. Both of those guys are very talented, and James Williams had like 200 catches in his college career, Boobie Williams,
wow.
And so I just think that a guy who can catch 200 balls for Andy Reid, I mean, that's got to be worth something.
Damian Williams is going at the 304 in drafts right now, so if you do like him, you will have to invest heavily into him, getting him in the 3rd round. He's going ahead of Marlon Mack, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Kerryon Johnson, Devontae Freeman. Wow, Devontae Freeman at the end of the 3rd. Never thought I'd see the day. So that is where Damian Williams is going. Sorry. That is such a ridiculous thing for you to say on the show, knowing what's at stake with the I Got 5 on it.
$5
that we have.
Abraham Lincoln.
Well, listen. That's
a lot of money.
It's going to happen. It's going to
happen. A green smoothie somewhere.
Oh, at
what
the
was the
Bonafide
bet?
Juicery downtown.
Yeah.
We had I have Devontae Freeman finishing as a top 12 running back this year, and Dave says he finishes outside the top 12.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm happy.
Never a doubt, John. Don't you worry. Never a doubt.
John is
All right.
politically correct and not saying anything.
I'll keep the faith.
Yeah, John.
Whoa.
I don't know if there's any Senate seats in Kansas that are going to be due to open soon, but you should look into that with these answers you're giving us tonight. You are casting us with flying colors.
Hey, John, okay, let's give you another one that's politically incorrect. So is there any, scuttlebutt on the down low out of the local Raiders with Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, what's the latest on Tyreek Hill?
We won't tell anybody, and no one down low.
Right, yeah, so no one listens. Literally, it's us three talking right now. What's the and two-packer, yeah. What's the latest on Tyreek Hill that you're hearing, and then give us your feeling on what's going to happen with him for the 2019 season?
Oh, man, I honestly, we have not heard a single thing here recently. So everybody has the same knowledge as I do about the Tyreek Hill situation. I know, the news talks about it constantly, and, they drafted Mecole Hardman, and, he's going to replace Tyreek Hill. But, right now I feel like everybody's just kind of in a holding pattern, and there's just nothing to really go off of. If he's guilty of a crime, he shouldn't play. This is his second chance. And the Chiefs took him, but if he's innocent, I think you got to let him play.
Excellent. So recently, there was a bunch of selling going on early on in the situation,
sure,
and now it's kind of calmed down a little bit. So John, I actually got a recent trade offer in a dynasty league. I own Tyreek Hill. I own him like 4 leagues of it, and I've not dealt him at all since. But someone offered me the 208 in a rookie draft for Tyreek Hill, and what would you do in that situation?
Oh, I would definitely hold on to Tyreek at that point.
Yeah, and that's what I did as well. Because I feel like his value is kind of rebounding a little bit because it's kind of like the no news is good news thing. And even if they suspend him for 8 games, it's like, what is a 208 receiver? That's a Miles Boykin type guy.
Yeah.
All right, maybe Miles Boykin's going to be great, and maybe he will suck. I mean, who knows?
Right.
But, I mean, even if he's great,
right.
is he going to be Tyreek Hill great? That's the question.
And I think you make a good point there with holding on to the proven known asset at this point rather than the wild card that you would get in that deal. I just do want to mention this with Mecole Hardman. Well, first of all, let me talk about Tyreek Hill. I feel like last week there was a lot of reports saying we're going to find out this week, and we never did. And now here we are at the end of the following week, and we haven't heard anything yet. So your point to no news is good news is apropos here. The other thing I'll say about Mecole Hardman, if Hill is suspended, this is a dude who, I just read an article today, has been playing the wide receiver position for 2 years, was a quarterback before that. He played the wide receiver position for 2 years at Georgia, which featured, guys like Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, DeAndre Swift was there last year, Todd Gurley. It's historically been, and by historically I mean like the last half decade, it's been a run-heavy attack there for Georgia. He is going to an offense that is a pass-heavy attack with Patrick Mahomes flying the ball all over the field. Something to consider in rookie drafts. I know we don't know, but certainly the Chiefs, I think, would have more information than us. They traded up. They traded up for Mecole Hardman. Right. There's something there. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we call him Nicole Kidman.
I don't. Two-packer does. That's fine. By the way, new season of Pretty Little Lies coming out on HBO, a future sponsor of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour. Check that out. Meryl Streep joining the cast. Let's get to some listener emails here for you, John. Al in Lawton, Oklahoma. What's up, John? Is there any value with the Baltimore receivers catching balls from Lamar Jackson after last season? They basically remade the group there, and I'm not sure what to expect. Thank you. That is Al in Lawton, Oklahoma. He makes a good point. Michael Crabtree remains a free agent. John Brown is catching balls from Josh Allen up in Buffalo. They have some rookies there, a lot of new faces in the Baltimore receiving corps. Can any fantasy value be mined from those wideouts, in your opinion, John?
Actually, so you had mentioned I write for Dynasty Football Factory, and I just wrote a player profile for Miles Boykin, and I truly think that Boykin has the talent that could translate to that offense. It's not like his quarterback at Notre Dame, was lighting the world on fire. He's a big guy. You know, he's got great hands. He's very athletic. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5". He's nothing like ESB from the year before. You know, I actually think Miles Boykin will fit well into that offense. You know, it's not going to be a super high volume air raid, nothing like that, but he could definitely be depended on for some catches this year. I'm not super sold on Hollywood Brown. He is just electric speed-wise, but with the Liz Frank injury and being like 170 pounds or whatever, you know, tiny, I just don't know if that's going to work in the NFL. You know, he's not just a deep threat. He ran lots of routes underneath, and then he's dynamic with the ball in his hands. I just don't see a guy that small being able to maintain his body. It just takes one hit, and it's a brutal league. They're gonna go after him. You know, I hope he does well because I'm a Big 12 guy, and you know he was phenomenal at OU. But I really think Boykin is the guy to get. Willie Snead might have some touches, but definitely you know, I would say Boykin and Justice Hill, the two rookies.
There you go. There's a lot of speed that got drafted, Walter. So hey, so John, Boykin, when I was Boykin, I just looked at his mock draftable profile. And, you know, mock draftable is a great site for just looking it up. And he pretty much, you look it up and he covers the whole damn thing. You know, he covers like the whole, I don't know, it's like a hexagon or whatever it is, or decagon.
Right.
12. He played D&D. I mean, 20-agon or dosagon.
D&D was three-dimensional, though.
Whatever. Anyway, so he covers up almost the whole thing except for bench press. He's 6'3", 220. How much you weigh, John? Shut up, Paul.
Oh,
John, he's a personal
I mean, I'm a small guy. I'm only 5'6", and I weigh 155 pounds soaking wet.
155. So he benched 225, 12 reps. I mean, John weighs 155. I'm sure he can put up I guarantee, I don't know how many bench 10 times, but at 155, I guarantee his weight to whatever ratio compared to Boykin, I'm sure you're kicking his ass.
Probably a lot better, yeah.
You can improve bench press, right? That's not a problem, right?
Yeah. You know, bench press in the NFL Combine just needs to go away. I mean, it's to show off the muscles. It has nothing to do with the NFL and what you're trying to do. I mean, how often are you going to be laying on your back, pressing something straight up in the air as many times as you can while everyone's yelling at you?
That's why you got tackled. You get off me, dude.
There have been plenty of high-stakes fantasy football hours where Dave has vehemently disagreed with me, and I needed to work on my bench press to throw him off the top of me after he is raining blows upon my head. So it does come in handy in certain aspects of the NFL.
You know, Balky's he's a sneaky strong guy. He's double Balky. 285 by 5.
Yeah, 295 by 2.
So what do you weigh?
Well, I'm a little heavy right now. I'm about up to 180.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
John, what do you think? That's pretty solid, right?
Well, you know, you just got out of the cold winter up there.
That's great.
I'm telling you, politics are in your future, my friend. 6'4", 220 for Miles Boykin. Like you, I am not sold on Marquise Brown. I'd be much more likely to use a late second-round pick on Miles Boykin than I would a late first round or even an early second round on Marquise Brown. I actually had the opportunity to take him in
which one?
Brown, in the mid-first round to draft the first receiver off the board. I chose not to, and feel pretty good about it. So I'm a little nervous about that. I'm with you on Miles Boykin. This is a guy I like before the draft. It's a guy I like now. I think there is a future there in Baltimore. Let's move on.
Real quick about Boykin.
Yeah.
When he ran his 40 time, and he went to Notre Dame, right? So
he did.
Good quality school. You can't be a total idiot going to Notre Dame. You have to have, even Boykin.
You'd have to be really supremely athletically talented to be a total idiot.
You're not getting in with an 18 ACT going to Notre Dame even as an athlete. And Boykin, he runs that 40 time, and his teammates just go absolutely crazy for him. I mean, he's one of those guys. He's the opposite of the guy from drafted. The Wisconsin quarterback.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, everyone hated.
Right.
But everyone loves Miles Boykin.
One of the bouncers from Roadhouse Coach in draft day was the head coach of the Badgers.
Wade Garrett.
Wade Garrett. Head coach. There you go. Yeah.
Copper didn't fall for it.
Right. Yeah.
He's smart. By the way, do you think? All right. Here's a question, Josh. Do you think that Kevin Costner would be a better GM of the Jets than Adam Gase?
Say that again.
Do you think that the actor Kevin Costner would be a better general manager?
So not the character he played.
No, the
actual Kevin Costner.
Who lives in Montana would be a better GM of the Jets than Adam Gase.
Now, to be fair, Adam Gase is technically only interim GM for the Jets right now. But who would be better? If you're running an NFL team, is it Kevin Costner or is it Adam Gase you want to put in charge of the personnel decisions, John?
Oh shoot! At this point, it's definitely Kevin Costner. But I mean, I'd even be looking at Jerry Maguire. That's a zoo.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Kevin Costner's done a lot of sports movies. He's done Bull Durham.
Yeah.
He's done the movie where he pitched the no-hitter or a perfect game or whatever.
That's true.
Al Pacino from Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, I'd take him for sure.
What's his name? Lamar Jackson. He's similar to the quarterback. Who's the actor that played the quarterback?
Oh, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Willie Beeman.
Willie Beeman.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a chapter on your life movie.
Listen, that should be an episode. We're going to do that for an episode of the HSF Power where we cast movies. Rich in Worthington, Ohio. Hey there, Jay Walt. I'll be coming up on the third round of both my rookie drafts this coming weekend. Any rookie sleepers you think I should be targeting after the first 25 players have been drafted? Thanks for the email, Rich. I'm assuming this is like a true rookie draft. There's not a whole lot of veterans out there to be had. So you look at after the first 24 rookies are off the board for this guy here. This is Rich in Worthington, Ohio. John, any sleepers you should be paying attention to? I mean, obviously, if Boykin's still out there, you want to look at him. But who are the other names you should be looking at?
Yeah. So third round is I think a good spot to pick up the backup running backs that were just recently drafted into pretty decent situations. So I'd probably look for Alexander Madison, obviously the Chiefs guys I was talking about earlier. I'd look at who else do we got here?
Raquel Armstead.
Raquel Armstead.
Yeah, Raquel Armstead, Justice Hill, if he's still around. So I would look at the backup running backs because I think a few of them do offer great value. If their starters ahead of them go down, I think you should pounce on them. Benny Snell, Bryce Love, Williams. Those are the guys that I was thinking of. And then as for receivers, I really actually kind of like the guys that went to Washington. So I like Terry McLaurin and Kelvin Harmon.
Stuart 3 in the chat room also chiming in with another player, Deontay Johnson, the Pittsburgh Steelers receiver, there as well as a player you should be paying attention to. Dave, I should mention this. The other night I was commissioning a football guys draft. I don't know. Well, I'm just going to say it. Who cares? 11th round, Bruce Anderson from Tampa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he go ahead of Peyton Barber?
I did not see where Rojo and Peyton Barber went.
Undrafted free agent.
But Bruce Anderson, 11th round of the football guys.
That's almost a sticker pick.
That sparked up the chat a little bit in that draft. Was interesting. So good to see you there.
I would just throw in, I kind of like Josh Oliver and Kyle Waring as tight ends.
Sure.
Tight ends in the third
FFPC, Dynasty,
whether it's
tight end premium.
Whether it's tight end premium or not. Those guys, I mean, granted, the problem is you do have short rosters as FFPC Dynasty. You have to cut down to 16. So are you willing to let those guys develop? But both teams really like them, I think, and they're both good athletes.
Especially if you have like a sort of a win now type team, Dave. You are top heavy. You have a lot of elite talent. Those are the type of players that you can afford to marinate on your roster here for a year or two and see what comes of it. Let's talk about, John, as you've been very gracious with your time. I'm just noticing the time right now. I can't believe you haven't hung up on us yet. Can you give us a guy that you're staying away from in rookie drafts this season, as well as a sleeper that you'll actually be looking to acquire for your dynasty squads? I know we've hit on a ton of names so far. Is there anybody that we haven't touched on that you'd like to bring up?
Yeah, so Marquise Brown was definitely one of them. Like I was saying earlier, he's an incredible talent, extremely fast, but he's already injured and he's tiny. So I've stayed away from him. One of the other players that I'm lower on than I feel like the masses are, especially in the 26er chat. They all kind of lit me up when I said this, but I'm actually lower on Miles Sanders. Dustin, who goes by Beast in all those leagues, he kind of came after me a little bit. I'm not I'm not saying that Miles Sanders is a bad player, because I think he's very talented. It's just I think David Montgomery and Josh Jacobs offer a good floor. I'm worried that if Miles Sanders, he's going to Philly, where they have Jordan Howard, who, Jordan Howard was really good at goal-to-go situations, short yardage gains, and Miles Sanders was not that great at that, and Miles Sanders wasn't the best blocker in the world. So I feel like in year one he may not be on the field as much. But I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong there. It's just I'm going with David Montgomery or Josh Jacobs well before I even think about Miles Sanders, and so I probably won't be getting Miles Sanders at all.
Dave, one of the great things about having this show is we get to talk to a lot of high-stakes players, and occasionally these high-stakes players will cross over into the industry and end up churning out some content. And we are lucky enough to have John Walter tonight on the show. That is one of those such players that I'm referring to.
Yeah, and John, just, usually we hate industry guys, so
we do not hate industry guys.
Yeah, you have an industry guy long enough for us to hate you, so
I've never hated an industry guy.
Oh, okay, so privately, I hate them all.
Okay, that's fine.
They're all very nice, but there's a couple that I don't like. But anyway, at Dynasty Football Factory, we do like, actually. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are big DFF fans.
Go ahead.
No question there. What do you have, John?
He was going to say something.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
Let our guts talk.
Yes, I'll try.
I honestly, I just started writing for DFF just part-time about a month and a half ago, so I'm still new. I'm not really in the industry. I'm just an amateur player who thinks he's good at fantasy football.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and that's cool. You know what? I think it's cool when people actually, when they've been various sites, find people who play and are passionate, they play high stakes, low stakes, mid stakes, whatever, and they write and they can write eloquently. It's great. So, do you have any certain articles you're working on or anything you're thinking of? I mean, obviously you have a full-time job, but it's just kind of something you do probably at night just for fun. And I think which is such a cool hobby, by the way.
Yeah, so my wife was pretty encouraging to me because I've had some success with fantasy football recently. And, I feel like I understand football. I watch it a lot. I played it a lot growing up. My older brother is a high school football coach here in town, and we talk about sports just constantly. So, I like just writing for fun. It's a good thing to get away from the real world at times. And there's a lot of craziness in the world, so being able to just sit there and talk about football, you can't get anything better than that. But, right now I'm just working on player profiles of rookies on new teams and trying to figure out who could be the next Phillip Lindsay, and, right now during these rookie mini camps and OTAs, you hear the sunshine and rainbows about every player. So, right now I'm going to try to read between the lines a little bit and figure out, who is the dark horse, who is nobody talking about, just try to find that guy. That's really all I'm working on right now.
Well, the good thing, too, is that your name you have a good name.
Yeah.
You have to change your name like J.K. Rowling.
Or Phelan Balaj, according to
John Walter, you have two first names as your name.
Right.
You don't have some stupid Gerzak last name, Polish Polak name. So you're in good shape there for writing articles.
So you
right.
got that going for you, which is nice. Yeah, I know exactly. DynastyFootballFactory.com. Check out John's work there. He's already got articles up on A.J. Brown, David Montgomery, late-round sleepers for running backs, and obviously some stuff on Miles Boykin there as well, as you mentioned earlier. Follow him on Twitter at DFF_JWalt, the 2018 defending FFPC Genesis champion. And don't forget, don't let this distract you from John Walter being the leading points getter in Revelations last year as well. The gauntlet has been thrown down to Packer. We'll see what happens in Genesis here. We'll see what happens.
So Myers' victory is a fluke.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a fluke, but we're going to find out because Two-Packer is in Genesis this year along with all the 26ers. We'll see how he fares, and we'll be paying close attention to that. We kept you way later than I said we would tonight, John. I really appreciate all of your time. A lot more than 7 minutes, my friend.
17.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for coming on the show. Good luck in all your leagues this year, dude. We'll keep following you, all your work on VFF and of course, all of your posts on Twitter as well. A lot of great stuff there. Thanks so much again, man.
Hey, I truly appreciate it, guys. It was a lot of fun, and go 26ers. And two-packer, you're just way out of your league at these days.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Thanks, John. Be good. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, fellas.
John Walter, ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 FFPC Genesis champion, joining the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour this week.
Just Dave, I have nowhere to be, by the way, so we can go as long as you want tonight. And I don't have any. There's no parties and no late night.
Okay, so this is weird because we're doing the show on a Thursday because I have a previous engagement tomorrow.
Right.
So normally we do the show on Fridays, and apparently then you have stuff going on like, hey, we're going to wrap this show up. But on a Thursday night, which is, we have to work the next day, you're like, whatever, as late as we want.
10 a.m. I take my kids to school at like 8. I can do 5 hours of sleep. I'm totally good. Who needs 8? People who need 8 hours of sleep, I feel a little sorry for.
I need it.
I think like once a week, 8 hours fine. But I never take a nap.
I cannot remember the last time I had 8 hours of sleep.
No, I don't either because I don't want to.
Right. Well, I need it.
There's so much life to live.
What's funny is
I gotta watch the Chernobyl miniseries, Paul.
I have not been afflicted with this that I know of because when my head hits the pillow, over the last year, my head hits the pillow, I'm out. But my father and my grandfather, his father, both
father's father?
My father's father suffered, and my dad still does. My grandpa has passed away. But actually, we had a funeral the day the Packers drafted Nick Barnett. I'll never forget that. I was at the granary in Milwaukee right outside Milwaukee.
All right, not really. Okay.
Okay, I thought you had been there before.
I've been to Milwaukee before.
Okay, no, the granary. I thought you had been to.
The Chancery, I've been to.
Chancery, that's what I meant, not the granary. It's called the Chancery.
Get the damn name right.
All I cared about is my grandpa's wake.
I mean, it looks like the granary.
Right after the funeral, we went to the Chancery for dinner, and I was like, because we had it on the NFL draft day, and I'm like, where are the Packers going to take? Where are the Packers going to take?
How dare your grand?
I don't care.
On a day where that his funeral.
I remember shouting across the parking lot, "They just took Barnett!" My grandpa's. It was terrible.
You guys know those things are like, Grandpa would have wanted us to watch this. Right?
The thing is, he wasn't even that big of a Packers fan. He was a big, not that he was a Brewers fan. He actually was. He got drafted by the Brooklyn Dodgers. I don't know if I ever told you this story. He got drafted.
Father got drafted.
By Brooklyn, and yes, and he could have gone in their minor league system and pitched with them, but it was right around the war, and he ended up going
World War II.
Yeah. And he ended up going, doing that. And when he got back, he's like, I'm just going to start a family and screw this baseball thing.
Yeah.
Well,
it's amazing. Right?
He had the opportunity to. He was a really good baseball player.
It just shows the devastation of people that served in World War II had. It's amazing. People don't even have any idea of how much those people think.
You know what? Not that I want to dwell on this, but one of the things I
want to start tearing up.
No. We were at my grandpa's funeral. My dad. I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry, but he came close at my grandpa's funeral. God, I'm going to hell after I say this. But he was talking about the last things he was saying to my grandpa.
Right.
And
he had his death.
He was in a nursing home. He was on dialysis like 3 times a week, and they just basically were just like, and his lungs were filling up with fluid. I mean, it was a horrific way to die, but he seemed at peace or whatever. So my uncle was in town. My dad was at his bedside, and and my dad was saying like all the things the last words he said, and one of the things he said, "Thanks for teaching me how to hit a curveball." which was, because my grandpa was, a big baseball player. It's funny, though, and I was thinking about this while my dad's saying it. My dad was a terrible baseball player, and there's no way he ever learned how to hit a curveball.
Right.
So how good of a coach was my grandpa really? He's like, one of those things where he could do it, but he couldn't teach somebody to do it.
That's what you're saying about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things.
Grandpa feel good.
So I don't know how we got on this subject, but how did we get on this subject?
God bless your grandpa.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we got on the subject. There was something else I was going to say. Let's just get into Fantasy Flash and save myself here.
This is great. This is probably the best. This is really good content.
Well,
we should license this.
I'm thrilled you think so. Thanks to Football Guys, Roto World, and Rob for tonight's rundown. Matt Breida was quoted as saying this week in the San Francisco Chronicle, all 3 running backs are going to be used a lot.
Yeah, his agent told him that.
Well, we'll see. Now, the 49ers, in addition to Breida, McKinnon, and Tevin Coleman, the newly signed Tevin Coleman, they also have Raheem Mostert and Jeffrey Wilson. Now, who knows what's going to happen there? But San Francisco's running backs last year, 1,800 rushing yards, which is good for 3rd in the league. Matt Breida, 814 rushing yards on 153 carries. That was good for 5.3 yards per carry, Dave. Everybody's talking about McKinnon and Tevin Coleman. Do you have any love for Matt Breida as a late-round flyer here, as he is going at the 1303 in FFPC best ball drafts?
I'm not a big Breida fan, and I don't really have a quote in front of me, but I thought the coach recently, I read an article the coach said recently, and it was like, oh yeah, our starting running back will be back, and da-da-da-da. Just talking about McKinnon.
McKinnon, right.
Yeah, he's the guy. Breida's like, he's fine. He's a good player in limited doses, and if you can trade him in Dynasty, you should.
Let's just bring this up right now. Dave, who's going first in FFPC best ball drafts, Tevin Coleman or Jerick McKinnon?
I hope it's McKinnon.
It is not.
Well, then I think it's a mistake.
Tevin Coleman, you want to take a guess at where they're going?
Okay, now that I know,
right.
I'll say Coleman's going in the mid-8th and McKinnon's going in the mid-9th.
Tevin Coleman is going at the 704.
Okay.
Jerick McKinnon going at the 806.
All right, so I was off by around on each, right? More or less.
Darrell Henderson, Latavius Murray, Rashad Penny, Tevin Coleman are the 4 running backs going ahead of Jerick McKinnon in drafts right now. Dave, I think you could make a pretty strong case for Henderson, certainly Latavius Murray. I'm not so sure about Penny. Henderson over what I say.
You said Henderson over.
Henderson over McKinnon?
Yeah, I guess you could make a case for either side. You could say that Henderson.
The one guy I wouldn't say you can make.
Darrell Henderson, the backup running back to Todd Gurley.
The backup, Dave.
Well, the thing is, in reality, he technically is, right? The coach.
Technically, you're an asshole.
Actually, if you ask my former doctor, I officially am. Anyway,
I don't know what that means.
I got fired by my doctor because I was mean to the nurses because they weren't very nice.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got let go.
Did you tell me this, Brian?
I think I told you the story. I don't care.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, you know what they said?
You were mean to the nurses, and they said you need to find a new doctor.
By email, yeah, because I was talking about my hip, and I need to get an MRI,
right?
So I get stem cell treatment,
right?
And they're like, "Well, we referred you to ortho. Go talk to them." I'm like, "Hey, let's piss off. How about you just say, oh, hey, I'm sorry, Mr. Gers, I think your hip's still hurt."
Right.
Perhaps they just weren't very nice.
Right.
So I, in return, was not very nice to them.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, back to
tat.
Yeah, I don't want to say that to the nurses, but anyway, not very nice, and I'm happily looking at Bell and Health.
There you go.
Anyway, back to what we were talking about. McKinnon. I prefer McKinnon. I think he's actually the guy. I've had my doubts about him, but I don't. Tevin Coleman's a straight line speed guy. He's never been all that great, really. He's just. I don't think he's all that good of a player. I don't think Breida's all that great either.
Here's what I think. I own Tevin Coleman in one dynasty league, and I had no idea he was being drafted first in FFPC best ball drafts. I thought it was McKinnon as well.
Right.
I need to trade Tevin Coleman, Dave. That's what I need to do now and get something for him.
If nothing else for McKinnon.
That'd be great.
In a second.
I do that in a heartbeat, absolutely. Kyle Rudolph says he is, quote, too young to take a pay cut, according to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Yeah. He is owed $7.275 million in the final year of his contract. We've heard the rumors of him being potentially traded to the Patriots. The Vikings are up against the cap. They could release him as well. They would save $7.625 million against the cap by releasing or trading Rudolph. Dave, is there fire to this smoke here with Rudolph potentially leaving the Vikings for greener pastures? I guess what I'm getting at is, if you own him in Dynasty, what are you doing with him right now? What should you be doing with Kyle Rudolph right now?
You can't. I was just looking at those stats from last year, and they're just not. It's weird. If he was tight end 12, but he averaged 9.7. Okay, he actually kind of sucked all year. He just week 16 at 33 points. So if I take out, I'm going to take out week 16 in my analysis.
All right.
Just for fun. Let's just do more. Exactly. Survey says.
Processing.
He only drops on his tight end 14, but he's averaging 8 points a game. That sucks. You know, I don't even like
in an offense with Thielen and Diggs, mind you.
No, granted, that's fine, but hey, whatever. $7 million is a lot of money to pay him, but on the same token, he's been there for a long time, and maybe he feels he deserves it. I don't care. From a fantasy perspective, Rudolph's not exactly getting it done. I don't like Irv Smith all that much either. He's a below.
You've made your point on
below average level athlete. He's a young player. He's not a great athlete at all.
So would you like him more if Rudolph gets released or traded?
Sure, I do like him more. I don't think I would. You know, Oliver and Waring are both better, and so is Dawson Knox. Actually, they're all better athletes than Irv Smith. Now, granted, he came out super early, great, but he's not going to get any faster, or stronger, or jump higher. I don't think.
Let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. He's signed with the Jets, and apparently that did not please Adam Gase, who didn't want to spend that kind of money at the position, according to sources. This reported by the New York Daily News as Manish Mehta. The Jets, as you know, fired GM Mike Maccagnan this past Wednesday, and he was in charge when the Jets signed Le'Veon Bell to the 4-year, $52.5 million contract, $35 million guaranteed. Now, if you remember Adam Gase, he was the OC with Denver. He was the head coach with Miami, and they used RBBCs quite a bit there. I don't think that's going to be the case with the Jets this year, Dave. Knowing what you know now, does that change the way you would draft Le'Veon Bell in a redraft league going forward? Knowing that Adam Gase did not want him in at his price tag.
You know, weirdly enough, a little bit. And the reason is that I feel like the team has proven themselves, and the organization has proven themselves to be dysfunctional. So that bothers me as an overall. I mean, what does that do for the locker room? It just can't make you feel that good, right? And by the way, I think Gase is actually right. I feel like they did overpay Le'Veon Bell, and it was a totally stupid move to do that. I also don't think Gase is a very good quasi-GM. I don't think he's a very good coach either. So I don't think much of the whole organization. I love Le'Veon Bell's skill set, but I don't think Le'Veon Bell and his agent made a wise move. So, I mean, in the first place with this whole holdout thing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's a bunch of idiots that are drafting and holding and managing other idiots. So how does all that turn out to be good? And you know, Darnold is trying to develop, who actually showed promise as a rookie. But nevertheless, it's like, I don't know. I would rather own James Conner, who's being drafted in a similar position, to a pretty good organization. With granted, they've had their own problems as well. But Conner looks really good. I know Conner's not as pedigreed as Le'Veon Bell, and I don't know. I just don't feel quite as good about the Jets. And they're going to score a lot more points than the Steelers are.
Shifting into James Conner, John Walter touched on Benny Snell as a guy to pay attention to in the 3rd and 4th rounds of your rookie drafts. If you own James Conner, would you be targeting Snell there? Are you worried about Snell if you don't get him for, if you are a Conner owner? I know Jalen Samuels is still there. How do you see that Steelers backfield working? I mean, is Conner the bell cow there, or do you think it's more of an RBBC this year?
I think Conner's the bell cow, and I think you own Samuels as the backup.
Okay.
Samuels is a great PPR back, too, so Conner gets hurt. Even if Snell gets a few early down touches, I think Samuels is going to be outscoring for sure.
Okay. Tyler Eifert, God, I can't believe we're bringing him up in May, but brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. He's working out
brace
right
yourself now. And brace his back.
Yeah, Fletcher Page from the Cincinnati Enquirer says that Eifert's been able to do most of the drills during off-season workouts. I feel like this is fake news, but I believe I am reading this correctly. He is super talented, Dave, but he's hurt a lot. He's played 14 games over the last 3 years. He has never played in a full 16-game season. Eifert says the plan is to be 100% healthy before training camp. I feel like that's been the report the last 4 years. Tyler Eifert, Dave, at what point, and I'll tell you his ADP in a second, at what round do you start considering him in an FFPC tight end premium best ball draft? At what round do you start looking at making Tyler Eifert a part of your squad?
Okay, I would say after you said, usually it's one of those drafts where everyone's drafting tight ends early, and you said damn it about 5 times, and you're like, damn it. Right. And now it's the 5th time, now you take Eifert. That's about the 11th round.
You would look at him in the 11th round, Dave. The earliest he has gone in May thus far has been the 12:05.
Earliest.
That is the earliest. His ADP is the 16:08.
He's setting a bar.
The latest he's gone is the 23:07. And by the way, thanks to FantasyMojo.com for this information. Tyler Eifert in the 16th round, and
pretty cheap.
I am all over that.
June's a blocker sample.
Yes, he is. But I read a report that Drew Sample's actually been working more as the blocking tight end in this offense, which frees up Eifert for the pass catching tight end. Just let me get this out and you make your point.
Yeah.
The 3 tight ends going ahead of Eifert in FFPC best balls, Mike Gesicki, Ian Thomas, and Mark Andrews are the 3 tight ends going ahead of him.
I can see Andrews.
Andrews, by the way, going at the 12:08.
I can see Andrews.
4 rounds later, you're getting Tyler Eifert.
4 rounds.
4 rounds.
Wow.
4 full rounds.
That's what, they're not even in the same ballpark in reality. Right?
In reality. En realidad.
So, the thing with Eifert is, what do you think the odds are that Eifert actually stays healthy? Let's say...
What's the over-under in games played for Eifert this year? 8.5.
Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So that's 50-50, right?
Sure.
It's actually a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say it's 12.5, 13 games. Let's say 13 games.
You're loving it.
So what do you think? There's like a 25% chance he does that?
Yeah, 15 to 20.
Whatever. So let's say, fine. But if he plays 13 games, and there's, by the way, if he plays 13, odds are good. It's kind of like the survivorship bias, right?
Sure.
If he plays 13 games, odds are good he's playing all the games, right?
Yeah.
So if he plays 13, so there's probably a 20% chance that he plays all the games. And he plays all the games.
I think that's a little aggressive, but I'm with you so far.
I don't think so. So let's just fight. Whatever, maybe I'm wrong. If he plays all the games, he's pretty damn good. He's for sure a top 12 tight end, right?
Yeah. If he plays all games,
yes,
he should be a top 12 tight end.
Almost for sure.
Even with Green and Boyd.
Yeah, he's a very talented.
Well, I'm saying it was a second-round pick, so I mean.
I'm saying, but he's a very talented player. I think that's a very good value for
Okay. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. All right, let's get to emails this week. Rob, don't play it because we are way over time here, even though Dave doesn't have anywhere to be on a work night. Frank in Dallas, what's the best way to attack the Browns running game? Fade Nick Chubb, target Kareem Hunt, scoop up Duke Johnson late, or the opposite of those? Or all of them? Help! Thanks, guys. That is Frank in Dallas. So Browns running backs. Let's talk about them here, and I think we need to talk about ADP as a reference point. And in FFPC best balls in May, this is over the last 2 weeks, Nick Chubb has an ADP of the 206. So he is a mid-second round pick. Kareem Hunt has actually fallen a little bit. He is going at the 1008 right now. So he is a late 10th round pick. Duke Johnson has fallen quite a bit. He is going at the end of the 14th, Dave. He is going at the 1411 right now. So knowing what we know about these Browns running backs and where they're going, if you're assembling an FFPC best ball team or a Football Guys Players Championship team, what rounds are you looking at for these guys? Or excuse me, not what rounds, but which of these players are you looking at? Any of them, none of them, all suitable answers.
It's tough because I'm totally most interested in Chubb, and he's the most expensive. Hunt, I don't know.
So would you soak a mid-second round pick in a Nick Chubb right now if you were drafting?
I probably would, yeah. I would look at that for sure. I don't think I would probably draft Hunt, to be honest. And Duke Johnson, where's he going at?
1411.
I would look at Duke Johnson.
He's getting a half season of production from him.
For sure, and possibly more. He's going to put some numbers up. I think so. I think Duke Johnson at that spot. Not as interested in Hunt myself. Nick
Chubb going right ahead of Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Damian Williams, and Marlon Mack. So, I could get on board with that. With Chubb. The thing is, when Kareem Hunt, when Kareem Hunt comes back.
Boy, this isn't not an
Thank you, I appreciate that. I almost dropped an S-bomb on the air the other day on accident. When Kareem Hunt comes back, certainly Chubb's touches will be dialed back. I don't think it's going to be a ton. So I think as long as Chubb stays healthy, if you soak a mid-second round pick into him, I think you will be loving life. Dan in Irvine, California. With both tight ends in Indy coming off either an injury or off-season surgery, do you see Devin Funchess trumping both those guys for the Colts this year? That is Dan in Irvine, California. Thank you so much for the email, Dan. I don't know the best way to attack this question here. First, Dave, do you want to talk about Jack Doyle, Eric Ebron, or Devin Funchess?
Well, I've never been a Jack Doyle fan. I don't think he's all that great. He's always hurt. He's more of a blocker type.
Going at the 1008 in FFPC best ball.
I just have no interest in Jack Doyle.
All right.
Ebron, he was, granted, you get the whole outlier touchdown thing. He was fantastic. He had a really good year. The surgery concerns me a little bit, but it's not that bad. It's not like anything really.
Groin surgery is what he had. He's recovering from right now. Going at the 501 in FFPC best ball.
He's not cheap.
Yeah, 501 going ahead of guys like Jared Cook, David Njoku, and Vance McDonald, Austin Hooper.
I feel like that's okay. Because, I mean, Njoku has to deal with, Landry, Beckham, Callaway.
Callaway, you want to talk about here's your Callaway?
Yeah, Antonio Callaway supposedly looking better. So now, if you have to deal,
according to Freddie Kitchens, head coach Freddie Kitchens,
he's saying he's looking more explosive, right? So you have Callaway, you have ODB, you have Landry, and you have Njoku. That's it. By the way, it's going to be a hell of
Nick Chubb and Duke Johnson.
Yeah, feel free to take Baker Mayfield.
Oh my God! I didn't even tell you this, Dave. You were
all right. Go for it.
Grab some toilet paper because you're about to shit your pants.
This is the R-rated version of HSFFR.
Baker Mayfield's girlfriend is a reporter, sports reporter. Forget this. WBAY Channel 2 in Northeast Wisconsin.
What, really?
I am not. The morning guys, BJ and the Bear on the Score, had her on. I'm like, why are they having this woman on? And I did some research. I'm like, oh my God, she's dating Baker Mayfield. She went to Oklahoma State. I believe she played softball there, or she volleyball or some sport there.
Right.
And Mayfield is with her.
What did she major in?
I don't know, probably communications or some bullshit, whatever I did. So
if you were only hotter,
right? Yeah, exactly.
And blonde and a girl.
I couldn't believe it. So Mayfield's girlfriend actually is a stone's throw from where we are. How about that?
That's pretty impressive.
Pretty insane.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to that interview, see if they ask about Mayfield, get some information there.
Was there more to the question? Oh yeah, it was Njoku.
Yeah,
and
contending with all these other Browns pass catchers there. So, and you said draft Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Was that the original question?
Well, no, the original.
About the Colts.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about Ebron and Doyle. Talk about Funchess because he's another big-bodied red zone type guy.
Funchess, it's so hard to get a read on Funchess because he was
never had a 1,000-yard season.
Never had a 1,000-yard. He was super young coming out for Carolina.
Still super young.
He's still, what is he, 24, 25?
I'll look that up right now, my friend.
He was always kind of stuffy. So I feel like Miles Boykin, if he underperforms, is the new Devin Funchess or the new Jonathan Baldwin, right? A big, strong, fast guy who just didn't get it done. Go ahead.
I will tell you this right now, Dave. Tuesday, Devin Funchess turns 25.
I mean, that's crazy, Tuesday. Right? He's been in the NFL for a long time. He's on a second contract. So, I mean, he has some skill. He's not the best pass catcher. But you just don't know. With Andrew Luck, maybe something happened. Maybe the light gets turned on. Maybe
the light got turned on for Eric Ebron with Andrew Luck last year.
It's totally possible. And if these two tight ends, as you stated, stay hurt or they underperform or whatever, Funchess is the big body guy who can play in the slot or do whatever he has to do. And you have T.Y. Hilton and what's the young
Paris Campbell.
Yeah, Paris Campbell. Yeah.
Catch the passes from Andrew Luck.
It's too bad Kellen Balazs is not on the team.
Yes, my countryman Kellen Balazs, if we have to play him in the playoffs, I can imagine I will be cheering very hard for him. Yes, so I am catching passes from Andrew Luck and trying to hold up Devin Funchess for playing time and getting the snaps on the field. So Devin Funchess.
That was really good.
Thanks. Devin Funchess going at the 1309, signed a 1-year deal in Indianapolis, Dave. So I looked at
he wants to prove it.
Well, or maybe he's the guy that the Colts just want to use this year, maybe make a run, and then have Paris Campbell, be the number 2 guy next year. But Funchess this year, I guess I'm slightly nervous about, but at the 1309, I'm not really nervous about him. I'll invest.
I think that totally makes sense. Yeah. Taking Funchess. By the way, good job by his agent, 1-year deal. I was talking to my wife today earlier. She was watching the show Grey's Anatomy, which is awful, and she admitted it was awful. And the actress, who's been on for the whole time?
Meredith Grey was played by Ellen Pompeo.
Yeah, and she's still been on it, right? And I was saying to my wife, I'm like, whoever Ellen Pompeo's agent is, or the actress herself, she realized at a certain point that, hey, I can make like $3-4 million a year just doing the same crap, or I can pretend I'm a good actress and go and try and do movies and then fail miserably like everyone else does. I'm going to keep doing the Grey's Anatomy stuff.
She actually did do at least one movie, Dave.
Well, that's fine. She did whatever. But, I mean, she's still doing Grey's Anatomy. She's still getting the $4 million a year, right?
Before she blew up at Grey's Anatomy, she actually played Luke Wilson's love interest in the hit comedy Old School.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's right. I remember that.
Yes. So getting back to Devin Funches from Ellen Pompeo. By the way, did you see this whole Bachelor flack that Kelly Ripa and then now Ellen Pompeo's defending the honor of Kelly Ripa?
Like this is our podcast. This should be the extra podcast.
The bonus show. No, it's really interesting because like these ABC talents are like cannibalizing each other right now. It's really hilarious to watch. Okay,
it's like Survivor ABC.
Sort of, yeah, a little bit like that. So that's our take on the Colts. Let's move on to the next email. I want to fly through these last. Well, we aren't going to be able to fly through this one. Greetings and salutations, Antonio and Tony. I'm wondering if Jared Cook is being a little bit overdrafted based on the coaches talking him up and joining a high-powered Saints offense.
No.
He's not being overdrafted. Okay.
I don't know. Where's he going?
I will tell you in a second. How good can he be with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara there? Could you play a Would You Rather with him? Your game starts now. That is Paul in Fort Myers, Florida. Thank you so much for the email, Paul. Thanks for listening. Sounds like he's a regular listener. Jared Cook, take a guess at where he's being drafted.
All right, I'm going to guess beneath Ebron, even though I think I might like
That's a great guess.
I'll say it's 507.
505.
Oh, dude, seriously, 507? That's really close.
Yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
You are dialed in on this. And actually, he's going 4 spots right behind Eric Ebron. He's the next tight end drafted after Eric Ebron. Let's play Would You Rather here, Rob. Don't play it. Would you rather have Jared Cook or Evan Engram?
I'll take Ingram.
I agree. O.J. Howard or Jared Cook?
I'll take Cook.
I would take Howard there.
There's too many targets in Tampa Bay that other better players are going to get, in my opinion.
You make the same case in New Orleans, in my opinion. Hunter Henry or Jared Cook?
I'll take Henry.
Would take Cook, I think. It's really weird.
Getting fun.
Cook or Eric Ebron?
I'll take Cook. He didn't have surgery in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cook there as well. Jared Cook or David Njoku, Dave?
I own Njoku in a few dynasty leagues, and I'll take Cook.
I would take Cook as well. I think I know how you're going to land on these last two. Jared Cook or Vance McDonald?
McDonald sucks.
Okay, I agree. And Jared Cook or Austin Hooper, the all-star tight end who caught 72 or 74 catches last year in Atlanta.
What, all-star?
Or all-pro. I'm like watching the NBA right now. I'm not thinking correctly.
Is Ricky Henderson
Austin Hooper, by the way, caught 70-plus catches in an offense with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley last year. Who'd you rather have, Cook or Hooper?
To be truthful, the smarter move, I'll tell you, smarter move is Hooper.
Yeah. But you're going to take Cook.
I don't know. You know what? You convinced me. I'll take Hooper.
I'm going to take Cook. Let's sign with the FFPC players.
Yeah, we should have invested.
I don't feel strongly about it. This is a glut of tight ends right now. And I understand, like, all the tight ends I just mentioned, Dave, they span basically 3 full rounds from the mid-4th to the mid-7th.
Wow.
And we're fairly dialed into what the FFPC players are doing as well, but I don't feel really strongly about it at all. All right, final email. Sean in Pittsburgh. Hey, Dave and Balky, how do you see the backfield split in Denver this year between Lindsey and Freeman? Are either of them good selections at their current ADP? Now, Dave, by the way, thank you for the email, Sean in Pittsburgh. You need to know their current ADP. You are on fire. Do you want to guess either one of their ADPs?
Yeah, why not? I'll say Freeman is in the mid-7th, and I'll say Lindsey's in the mid-5th.
Okay, Freeman is going at the 903.
So, Freeman, I'm going to write this down, 903.
Philip Lindsay, who, by the way, might miss part of training camp because that horrible wrist injury he had week 16. Philip Lindsay going at the 408 right now.
Jesus. The Lindsay pick is awful.
Okay, that's awesome.
But terrible.
Fine.
The worst.
Got it.
Take Freeman around the heck. This is unbelievable.
Take him in the 8th, you're saying.
Absolutely.
How does the back split up percentage-wise in the backfield between Lindsay and Freeman this year?
I think
60-40?
I think Freeman ends up winning the job. I don't think Lindsay is going to be fully recovered.
Wow.
And Freeman's a really good talent. I like Lindsay as a player.
So trade him in Dynasty if you got him. I
think that's not a terrible move.
Yeah.
You trade an undrafted free agent for max value now? Sure.
Would you rather have the 2019 112 or Philip Lindsay?
I'll say 2019 112. I would rather have the 112. And the reason I say it,
hold on.
The reason
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The reason I say it is you can get either Murray or Isabella, both air raid uber superstars soon to be that no one else.
So you would trade Philip Lindsay straight up for Kyler Murray right now?
Let me tell you something, Balky. I traded the 112 and the 201 for Tyler Boyd and the 301 in a draft. And I felt pretty good about it. And now, like, I could have probably gotten Murray and Isabella, and I'm actually not that happy about it now that I think about it. I'm happy I have Boyd.
Right.
I'm a little pissed overall that I made a bad move with.
Well,
anyway, go ahead.
Let's say Lindsey is healthy for week 1. Freeman wins the job. Is he a bell cow? Is he 70-30? Who's catching the passes in this offense?
I think every running back on the planet, with the sole exception of someone like McCaffrey, is a 70-30 back. I mean, there's almost no one nowadays gets 90% of the snaps.
No, and I guess my point with the 70-30 split is I want to see if you felt it was me 70-30 or closer to like 55-45 or something like that.
I would say it leans more towards Freeman. That's probably more like 70-30.
Okay. And Devontae Booker is an afterthought?
Yeah, he's not that good. He's not a good player.
Got it. Yep.
So if just looking at Dynasty Trade Calculator for Dynasty trading purposes, Lindsey has a grade of a 15.3 value and Freeman's an 8.4 according to that. So 15.3 is probably like 107, 108. Let me just look here quick. Okay, so a little higher. It's 105 range, 104. Yeah, so 105, 106 range is what Lindsey is currently valued at. And Freeman is probably like a 112, 201 range is what they're saying. So, for whatever that's worth.
I get it. Let me, this last question of the night, I promise. It's been an awfully long episode.
But an awfully great one.
Well, I hope so. You are offered a trade for a team that you put in the lowest third of your dynasty league. So they're a bottom 4 team.
So it's not a great trade. I don't have a good team.
No. This is the team offering you this deal. They're going to send you their 2020 first, okay?
Yeah.
In exchange for Lindsey straight up.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
You would take the 2020.
In a second, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, hold. I'm trying to get you to think about this. Let's say the returning champion offers you his 2020 pick, and he's loaded for bear again.
Okay, if it were me, I would deal Lindsey at that point because I don't look at Lindsey, who's an undrafted free agent, the same as a highly drafted player. And Freeman, even a third-round pick, is not super highly drafted, but it's highly drafted enough. So at that point, keep in mind what we were talking about, Zach Stacy. Remember, he was a fifth-round pick. Everybody loves Zach Stacy. You should have sold Zach Stacy for a 112 pick or whatever in the year that he broke out. He was garbage after that. I'm not saying Lindsey is that, but he could end up being that.
Zach Stacy didn't make a Pro Bowl, but
there's probably a 30-40% chance that Lindsey ends up flaming out.
Yeah.
Don't you think? What do you think?
I don't know if it's that high, but there certainly is a significant chance that he could. And obviously this wrist injury is not going to help him at all. I am with you on this. I need to sell Lindsey. I would take a 2020 first from anybody in the league.
So
I do own him in one dynasty league.
So why don't you just offer him
to everybody in the league for
2020
for either their first or this year or next year? Yeah,
it'll take you like 4 minutes.
I'm totally going to do I Now we got to end the show. I got to do this.
All right, okay, go on.
All right, I want to thank John Walter.
Let me know if you get an acceptance on that.
I'll let you know. I want to thank John Walter, Dave Gerzak, the FFPC, Rob Bryce, and of course each and every one of you. We will be back next Friday at our normal 10/9 Central time. Check out those maiden dynasties in 2019 Best Ball League at myffpc.com. Get in on the main event early bird. That's going to expire in about 2 weeks. Get in on the Football Guys early bird where you get that free $35 credit just for joining the FFPC Football Guys Players Championship. Draft the team before July 15th and sign up before June 30th, and you'll get a free $35 team credit. We'll do that up to 3 times for you this year, so take advantage of that. All right, so the next show we do, Dave, will be, by the way, after your birthday. Happy early birthday to you.
Yeah, thanks.
And it will be after the series finale of Game of Thrones.
Oh, thank goodness.
And I know you don't like being put in these positions, but I'm going to put you in this position.
Tyrion and Sansa.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that specifically.
Are going to be on the are going to be the head of it.
Any shocking predictions?
Yeah, Jon Snow and Daenerys are dead, and Sansa and Tyrion are the ones that are still alive, and they actually run the Seven Kingdoms properly. Because they're not complete, hot-headed idiots. And Jon Snow's just an idiot in general.
All right. He may be an idiot. You want to hear my bold prediction?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Jon Snow kills Daenerys Targaryen in the series finale, and Jon Snow rules over the Seven Kingdoms.
But I've heard that Bronn was running the dragon. mind melding.
Oh, yeah. No, Brandon Stark, yeah. No, I've heard that he warned it. Anyway, we're getting into the new show. Thanks so much for listening. Get in on the early birds. Your weekend
This has been another episode of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com. That was broadcast live and heard around the world. Eric and Dave will be back next week with more analysis, interviews, and advice from a guest much smarter than they are. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk with you again next week.
We're on the team floor, even more so if we on tour. Me and E explore the country, wondering about the evening before. Trying to explain where the time went, while other rappers find a studio to grind in.
So, two things real quick. That beer that I had you try, that was the Founders Mas Agave. It just came out. It's brewed with lime, sea salt, and agave, obviously.
Is it a Mexican beer?
They age it. No, it's Founders is in Michigan, I believe. But they age it in tequila barrels. Tell me that did not just taste like a margarita.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Interesting beer.
10.0 ABV. Make sure you're not driving anywhere tonight.
I'm not.
You're all set.
Home.
You're all set. So the last thing I want to say about Game of Thrones, do you remember that petition I told you about? The people are really ticked off about.
This is the millennial mind.
Right.
Petition.
So there's a petition out there for season 8 to be completely redone.
Yeah, I've heard.
Do you know how many signatures it's up to?
100,000.
Over 300,000
People
signatures.
are 98% millennial.
Well, I can't speak to that.
Generation X is like whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's art. It's somebody else's
generation. Why?
No, I think technically I snuck in on the X's. Although Troublemaker El Grande, this other guy, one of my buddies, he says that we're actually millennials, which I don't.
You're definitely not.
He showed me a website that said that I fell into millennial, which I never.
There's X and Y, and then what about Y?
I've seen a lot of different things out there.
You're X or Y.
X, Y, and then again the Troublemaker El Grande website was millennial. So. Whatever. I don't identify with the millennial. Enjoy Game of Thrones, everybody. Thanks so much for listening on a Thursday. We'll be back at Friday. Enjoy your weekend.